Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Captain America Issue 1 2025. Oh, really like that cover. This is at $5.99. Now, I think I got my money's worth out of this because I really like Chip Zdarsky, Valerie Rashidi, and Frank Martin. This is a really good one. I really like the writing and the art style and everything that is kind of going on in here. But just to make sure that you know that it's a beefier one. Immortal Thor was also a beefier one at $5.99 as well. Yeah. So just keep those in mind. So let's see here. You think you're prepared to see death, but violent death, a man taking a man's life, is a very different thing. It changes you in ways you know immediately and ways you discover later in the darkness, when you're as alone as you've ever been. And when death happens on a massive scale, you fight the terrible thought that soon comes. Are we worth saving? And if we are, am I willing to become the thing that I hate to save it? Am I willing to be a killer? And seeing 9/11 and everything. And we're like, okay, who is this and what's kind of going on here? Of course, this is exploring right after Cap wakes up from the ice. So, let's see what goes on here. Crowd was amazed as the new Stark phone made its debut, hotly anticipated. You hear Mince's is gone? Only good place to get a corned beef in this damn city. The computing device marks a huge departure for Stark Tech and its founder, Tony Stark. Our corned beef is plenty good, Joey. New York is changing, Mel. Ain't like the old days. Sources say the company is shifting away from munitions, causing consternation in Washington. So what? Old days ain't what they're cracked up to be. I keep telling you, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. But if you're at peace, repeat, 10-10, shots fired. Suspected 10-33, subject on the move. You're living in the present. As we pretty much see that Steve's at the counter and looks back to see what's kind of going on. Here's a pretty good one with, like, a kind of bigger kind of shot and then some smaller paneling here. Come on, Gary, hold on. Where's the shooter? He took my bike, went down Madison, said he was going to the UN building, was going to kill them. Where's the UN building? The 1st and 43rd. Wait, you don't know where? You're not police. No, ma'am, I'm not. As we see, of course, the shield and then the star there for Cap. But I'm here to help. And that's really kind of cool. I really love that look there and seeing the movement of him on the bike and the jacket flying off. Move, fucker, move. Just a lone shooter or someone with a plan that's been interrupted. You the fuck? And of course he sees Cap in the side mirror as Cap gets his shield out. Bang, 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 bang. He's trained, knows how to ride and fire, and he's on to me. Weaving. Can't get a bead on him through the other vehicles. And I'm really liking how they've got a handle on Steve and the other characters we get in here. I've seen Chip Zdarsky having a handle on Steve in the Avengers Twilight, but it's really cool to get him handling the 616 universe. So I need to get above them. And he does. Look at that. Woo. And then seeing the clang tongue. No. A bomb. Please don't. It's like, shit. He doesn't have all the information. But then when he's like, what am I going to do? Of course, he jumps up. Damn it. Botched the landing. Need to. Out of my way. As he's firing off behind him. Bomb didn't go off, thank God. Do they still have God in this world? Appreciate it. No problem. As someone picks it up. It almost kind of looks like Tony Stark. I'm not sure if that is or isn't. And is he listening? Don't stop. Are you seeing this? Stop or we'll shoot. They let them die. I won't stop. I won't. Hold your fire. It's like, oh shit. This isn't good. He's got a bomb. I do. Who's that? It can't be. You're military. I was. I know a military man when I see one. Service and rank? Army. Second lieutenant. 2 tours in the Gulf. Captain. Commandos. Commandos infantry. World War II. That's impossible. In this world, nothing's impossible. But I'm sure you've seen that, haven't you? Out there, far from home, things you never wanted to see, never thought possible. Nobody cares. People just live their lives. While everyone I know dies for nothing. Just, Lieutenant, whatever you've gone through, whatever you're thinking you'll accomplish here, it's just not the way. Death brings more death. I can help you, but for now I'm asking as your superior officer. And I'm like, yay, Cap, help him if you can, and help him. Stand down. As he's got that button, but then drops it, and he's like, My guys, I know, soldier. Now let's shut that thing down, okay? I'm not sure if I, what? And then zzz, digital device, remote solutions. Sorry I'm late. And I really like seeing the old school kind of like Iron Man armor. It's beautifully done. And how Tony's handled. Traffic was murder. It's amazing. The idea of a United Nations, and you say it's designed to stop future world wars? That's a big part of why it was founded, though there's always debate about its efficacy. Nothing is ever straightforward, is it? But it's nice to see the world has at least tried. That man, though, he felt abandoned by it. By us. Cap, I know it's only been a week since you came back, but if you're going to run around fighting terrorists, it'd be easier if you did so with the Avengers. Officially. Our benefactor, Tony Stark, has government connections and can afford us the freedom to know. I already belong to an organization, Iron Man. I know it's been decades since I went into the water, into the ice, but for me, it just happened. Yesterday, I was a soldier in the U.S. Army, so now it's time to return to base. And that makes sense that Steve would first do that, and then later on down the line do the whole Avengers thing. Now that kind of changes. It is interesting who they kind of hook him up with first, though. And then we shift to the kid that we saw. He's still out there. Who is? The world was changing. We could no longer ignore what was happening across an ocean. Newsreels and newspaper brought this horror to life on our doorstep. Son, I told you, it's time to go home. Can't, sir. The suffering, the inhumanity. If I wouldn't turn my back on a neighbor in need, I won't leave until you let me join up, until you let me serve my... Mr. Colton, you have severe persistent asthma, your vision is 20/60, and frankly, you look like a strong wind would snap you in two. I'm sorry, son, I really am. It's honorable you'd want to serve your country, but you need to find other ways. How could I turn my back when other nations were on fire? I understand, sir, but this is all I think about anymore. That the world has gone mad, and good, sane men are the only cure. It's like, okay, of course this is echoing a lot with Steve, so we'll see how that kind of goes. But that was a different war. That was a different war. World War II versus the War on Terror. Though it is interesting, I don't know if how that old guy's looking at him. I don't know if it's an actual old guy or like what's happening there. So we'll see. I've never seen anyone like this. He's the perfect human specimen. We can't match against DNA, obviously, but this man has all the markings of Dr. Erskine's super soldier experiments from the 40s. How is this possible? Well, according to the subject, in 1945, during a mission near the English Channel, of course, getting people caught up and everything on how this works. And I think this is pretty well done because it's gets new readers kind of into it, which a number one should, while just being enough for people to be like, okay, here's a refresher. He fell into the Atlantic Ocean and froze, and somehow lived. Suspended animation, amazing. And then, last week, the group calling themselves the Avengers found his body and thawed him out. No one who saw him in public thought he was the original, but from everything I'm seeing, he is. And seeing him go through, and then, utilizing the shield and all that. And there is precedent for other kind of Captain Americas and everything being active during those time periods, and linking that up with this kind of one that we see in the end of this issue. Young man, I'm General Thaddeus Ross. It's like, alright, we got Thunderbolt Ross, so it's interesting that we're linking them kind of up here. I don't know exactly their complete and utter history throughout. I know that Steve would butt heads with him, but it is interesting to see it going on kind of like this. I've read your debrief already, soldier, but we're going to have more questions. Yes, sir, I'd expect nothing less. Number one among them is this. Why are you here, soldier? Why walk into the Pentagon, a place that didn't even exist when you were last roaming this planet? Sure. From what we can tell, that maladjusted crew funded by Tony Stark seems only too eager to have you. It's a new world. The war is long over, and you could go anywhere you wish. So again, why here? Of course, seeing and remembering him and Bucky tossing him off. It's been a hell of a week, sir. I've seen some amazing things, but you've read my debrief. I've lost everything. My partner, Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes. I watched him die before I fell into the ocean. My parents were dead before I enlisted. And any friends I once had, they're all gone. Yeah, but you make new friends with the Avengers and everything. The only thing that mattered to me that still exists, still does what I need it to, that can make sense of this world, is here, with the men and women who serve. I understand, more than you know. Captain Stephen Rogers, welcome back to the United States Armed Forces. When you're ready, soldier, I believe I have your first mission. It's like, okay, let's see how that works out there. we shift back to the young man that we're seeing. I've never faulted those who stayed at home, but it's been okay. The food is as bad as you'd expect, but David, come home. I look at the men in the trenches and can see those who should have stayed behind. This is insanity. You're not thinking straight. The entire country. It's frothing at the mouth for revenge. I can't believe you. I told you, Mom, it's not revenge. I'm going to help. The Taliban, the things they've done to their people. They need to be stopped. A fear that runs through them too deep to face the horrors of war. I know you saw people die in the city, but Davy, my trains on them in battle, distracted by what they'll do. You need therapy, not a gun, not some racist war. My heart breaks for everyone who died, but it's also about breaking for everyone about to die. After what happened to your brother in Kuwait, how can you don't? Brian was a hero. He was. I can't stay behind, not while they're out there. Hey, crybaby. Your afternoon ass beating is about to start. The bullies. And this is kind of where it kind of differs. I mean, Steve probably had these same kind of problems as well. However, this really goes to showcase that pretty much he had nobody in the military pretty much in his corner here until somebody saw that they could kind of use it. Now, I can understand how that kind of looks like Dr. Erskine probably did the same thing to Steve. But we see like the tweakings here of what's kind of going on. And yeah, there's the revenge aspect and stuff of the war that I'm glad was brought up here because, yeah, there's a very fine line between doing justice, stopping assholes and bullies, and going for vengeance and trying to take an eye or two for losing an eye or something that you've lost, going even one further. That is the stuff you have to watch out for. And also what you'd have to watch out for in World War II as well. My life has been a succession of bullies. They seek out the weak, and I just radiated weakness. For fuck's sake, Sarge, Colton's a joke. Little crybaby's gonna get someone killed when we did. But I fought back. I always fought back. It didn't matter that I rarely won. I'm not crying. When the world turned dark and the bullies gathered, I did what I'd always done. I lifted my fist and prepared for the pain. I'm not... And he just keeps getting cracked. It's like, this is not good. So, we shift over. And we see the Fantastic Four. It's like, holy shit! And I like how the Fantastic Four are handled in here as well. So, I'm interested to see what goes on with this Davy kid. Davy? Yeah. So, he's got a lot of issues. He was there with 9/11. His brother was evidently killed in Kuwait. He's got a lot of baggage going on, and I do think that his mother's right that he needs therapy on that stuff. So, let us see what the Fantastic Four is doing here. I can't hold him back. Fire ain't doing the trick. Ben, we need you to overpower the beast. What do you want from me, Stretch? Guy's got me in his damn mitts, I believe. This gentleman is the source of your problems. Humanity is the source of old man's problems. Happy to stick around and help with the cleanup, but afterward, I was hoping to have a conversation with a Mr. Fantastic. It's like, ooh, this is really kind of cool, having the Fantastic Four and Steve interact like this. So, of course, Thaddeus had his whole mission of Doom being the thing, and I really like how they kind of dive into this, because I like Steve's kind of parallels that he brings up, and what Reed is able to kind of bring up as well. Doom. Victor Von Doom. Apparently you know him well. As well as anyone can, I suppose. We were in college together. He was brilliant, volatile. There was an accident. His face was scarred and he dropped out. A few years later he resurfaced back in his home country as well. I suppose if you have this file, you know. I do. And obviously, you do so do the people above me, including the president. Doom's an autocratic madman who's been illegally entering America and threatening its citizens after his coup in Liberia. He's destroyed the U.S. Embassy there and taken our diplomats prisoner before the majority had a chance to flee. My God, we're putting together a covert strike force to go in and retrieve them before it's too late. Of course, the Fantastic Four will join you, and you can't. A lot's changed from when I was first around. It appears that America has the new atomic bomb, and it has you and your superpowered friends. The world is watching, scared. The UN is voting on a resolution banning extra-powered beings for military operations on foreign soils. Vastly different than the whole Superhero Registration Act kind of thing. But how are you able to? My heavily documented wartime service has apparently created a goodwill exception for enhanced military. Yep, and I do like that they bring that up. It's like, oh yeah, the thing is they're not under the military's purview or whatnot, but No country is willing to halt their super soldier programs. Like, yep, you fucking assholes. I love how Reed's shown in the Fantastic Four as well. The powers are done pretty well, even though it's only small. But giant men made of rock are an international no-go now. I love how Steve's like, what the fuck, man? Okay. So, if you don't need me and my family, I have information, facts, and details, but what I really need to know is, who is the man I'm going up against? 2 weeks ago, I was fighting Adolf Hitler. Now, suddenly, I'm in a brand new world and wondering, is this fate? Am I here to stop the next Hitler before he starts? A very pertinent question there, Steve. And then I like how Reed kind of goes into this. Victor isn't Hitler. He's full of ego and hate. But that hate isn't for groups of people. It's for himself, for the mother and father he couldn't save. It's about control and punishment for anyone who gets in his way. And I like that. We could get into scenarios where Doom leads to situations that could have other people doing the kind of Hitler stuff, but he doesn't have the same kind of focal points that Hitler does. Like, he could create machineries and vast, horrendous things that would lead to, like, genocides and horrendous wars and stuff. But it is a difference of kind of person. He is an autocrat. He is a dictator. He is an asshole. He is Sorcerer Supreme at the moment, and I'm going to have to see how that kind of works out, but not at this moment. So, I do like Reed's exploration there of who Victor Von Doom is. But we get, hey bro, here I am, huh? Mr. Fantastic? Holy shit, I gotta get a pic for... Sorry, man, I'm just some guy. As we see his face changes. What? Neat trick in there. The four of us opted to not have secret identities. For Ben, it's impossible. So, yeah. Sue could just turn invisible, and Johnny loves the attention. I'm probably the shyest, so I called myself Mr. Fantastic. People expect someone bigger than life with a name like that, so day to day I can walk around, and with a little self-nip and tuck, I just disappear, while Doom has decided to disappear into that armor, that mask. Correct, Steve. Yes, he really gets it. I understand what happens when you clad yourself in symbolism. You can't help but become it after a while, for better or worse. How do I stop him, Reed? And I like that Steve's got that and understands that. That ego is his undoing, but the armor, the mask, those boost it to the nth degree. I've been working on a way to shut down the armor, but haven't been able to test it yet. I could set you up with it, Captain. Please, it's Steve. And I love that. He's like, just call me Steve, man. And I love that it's like, okay, how do I stop him? You pretty much get his ego. Yeah, you can take away the armor, but it's like, when someone's like, when Tony's like, I am Iron Man, it's, yeah, you can take that bit away, but you still have to deal with a squirrely little bastard that can do some really weird shit in a cave if he needs to. So, this Doom's on the same kind of rationale. You gotta fucking make sure you get him cracked on to what you're doing. Let me see here. Yes. Please, it's Steve. I get that I should call you that, but I know it's only been a couple of weeks for you being back, but my father, well, he worshipped you as I was growing up. It's like, and it's interesting seeing that Reed has that as well, linking that up with Spidey and everything, and Steve interacting with these people and these people interacting with their hero. It's like, and so did I, as he's got an action figure of Steve. It's like, great. I've had this since I was 8 years old. I'm sorry, Captain America, but you're a living legend. Myself and so many others grew up with you. You're the counter to the stories of the boogeymen from our childhood. You're the brave man, the one who helps, who fights evil wherever it lives. Exactly! That is a great way to put it. And I just love that at this first bit, he's like, you're Captain America. But the relationship grows to such a point that, like, he calls him Steve. And these people call him Steve. He's like, we're friends. Incredibly sorry for all you've lost, but I'm so glad you're here again. The world needs you. These dolls. Did they make one of Bucky too? Well, they're actually called action figures, and you're damn right they did. And I love that. Steve's like, did they do it for my friend as well? He doesn't care that it's of him. He's like, what about the others? What about Bucky? And I love how Reed responds, you're damn right they did. And I don't think this kind of like screws up the kind of characterization that we've seen of at least Reed that I've been following in the Fantastic Four. He's a little bit more emotive here, which I'm fine with, and more in tune with his emotions. But I mean, he's talking with like this person that's affected him, and also his father and everything. So then we shift back to Davy. There was no question in my mind. I was going to serve. Steve Rogers, the bully kid from Brooklyn, was going to serve. Sorry, sir. I know it's lights out. I was just fit. I wouldn't take no for an... You're a damn mistake. And this is gnarly. This Sarge dude just beats him. An embarrassment, sir. You're right, they're right, your fellow recruits. You're gonna get them killed. And that's, like, find a way for him to serve that works and helps with what goes on for him. Because the biggest kind of issue for him at this point is that he only thinks of one way that he can serve and doesn't take his strengths into account because everyone keeps telling him he's weak. And then he starts believing that. And we just see these assholes racking on him. You're a weak crybaby, and you'll be a deficit in the battlefield. I'm not crying. And I'm not leaving. Holy shit, Sarge just snapped. Good. And then he just beats him. It's like, God damn you. That's not right. Not leaving. Just never leave. My life on display. Every letter I wrote home to my old teacher, Mrs. Crosley. Sorry, but we're just closing up. Of course, adding to a mythology that grew while I froze in the darkness. And I love him kind of ruminating on that. In the war, I was a child becoming a man. I led, but I was just another soldier, trying to survive, trying to help ensure the world had freedom. And I like that kind of explanation there. He's like, I'm just a man. But he's able to show other people a way forward, and it gives them hope and inspiration to lead and inspire other people. That's Cap's kind of greatest strength, and I love that he doesn't get an oversized, inflated ego. Very much like Superman just being like, I'm just a dude. I mean, yes, he could do all these godly things, but his goal is never to be a god over people. It's just to be someone that helps people, even though he's got those fantastical powers. But now the world has built me into something more. Can I embrace it? Do I fight it? Will allowing myself to be a living legend change me? Will the stars and stripes be my armor? It's like, I like that he thinks about those things and what every Captain America should think of those things. So we look at Davy, and he's, of course, Captain America. Notes, we see him with his inhaler and everything like that. Trying to reach it. Must be tiring. And here's the old dude. Being so damn feeble. Your soul, your spirit wanting more, your body saying no. But you didn't stay down. It's not in you, is it? So what have I told you, Mr. David Colton, the weakest damn recruit I've ever witnessed, that I could cure that asthma? It's like, alright, and what's the cost, man? And then we shift back to Steve, and I kind of like this kind of stealth suit, and at least I always like to see them kind of doing different kind of things. I mean, Steve's regular suit, awesome. Bucky's Cap suit, nice. I like to see also Sam's suit as well, but I like kind of experimenting and seeing different kind of things. And this is kind of like their take, I guess, on the stealth suit. Sorry to call you in so soon, but our last spy in Latveria has gone dark. We had to pray that Doomstad infiltration point he gave us still works. Prayer goes a long way, if the planning is solid. Very true, you need both. Do we know where the hostages are being held? There are 3 points within the city that we've ID'd as possibilities. The only man who says he knows the location for sure is Marius Wolf, the head of the Latvian resistance. He's located in the northeast district in a safe house and is willing to help. He's still alive. If he's still alive. Anyone's still alive. We haven't heard any demands for the hostages. There's been no communication with Doom since the embassy attack. How small is our entry team? It ain't the size of your entry team. It's how you use them. Terry Mendoza. Folks call me Chill. Are you really him? I am. I'm like, no, it's right. It's how you use them. When's our departure? 0400. Captain, this is Julie Slate, marksman for SEAL Team X, the Howling Commandos. Howling Commandos, big name to live up to, soldier. We're Marines, soldier. Graciously letting an Army fossil join us. No offense meant, just getting the lay of the land. So, we're a 3-person team? No, sir, we're not. So I went out into the world to answer the question, can I stop the bullies? As we see this dude with another shield pop up. It's like, okie dokie. And it's like, okay, this is going to be an interesting kind of team. I like Mendoza. Slate is kind of just even more chilly than, like, the Chill would say. Can Captain America make the world a better place? As we see, like, the toppling of the statue, and it looks like Davy with his shield and everything, because otherwise it'd be kind of weird that the red-haired dude... So, we see that team made up to go rescue the hostages in Latveria. So let's see what's going on here. Witness the rise of one of Marvel's most infamous villains as Captain America comes face to face with Doom for the first time. This is Latveria like you've never seen it before. Also, who is David Colton, and can Steve trust him to have his back as they infiltrate a hostile country with the new Howling Commandos? cool. And we see this as kind of Bucky-esque, but they're both on equal footing here. Whereas before, at least until the whole Winter Soldier thing, Bucky's just a regular guy. So, I really enjoyed this, and I liked Zdarsky's handling of Steve, his handling of Tony and Reed, their understanding of Doom, and trying to get a lay of that. And David Colton, it'll be an interesting one. I'm like, okay, this looks to be like, of course, Captain America for the War on Terror and putting it on this kind of time frame. We'll see how that works out for him, how that shapes him differently than Steve, because it would shape him differently than Steve. So we'll see who he is, what his objectives are, how it'll ripple forward into the present. I don't think that's too far of a thing to have another kind of Cap there. We've got like the 50s one that was against communism and stuff. We had John Walker. This one's adding it in on the sliding kind of time scale, lining up kind of the War on Terror kind of thing of Steve. So I know it kind of changes out because he would have been called out in the 60s versus the aughts, and how that kind of changes things. But Marvel's always got a slidey, slippery kind of time frame, so I kind of give it the benefit of the doubt on certain kind of things, depending upon how horrendous a certain kind of retcon would be. Like Tony Stark being adopted to protect his parents' biological brother, not their biological brother, but their biological son, adopted brother kind of thing. That's like, that just makes it a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. Alright. This, depending upon how it's handled, I think should be alright. I love the art and the colors and the flow of action. It just looks very well done. I like how everything's worked here. I liked what Zdarsky was able to do with Avengers Twilight, and I'm really liking this first issue, and I cannot wait to see what happens more with this run. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.